Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Right, for part 3, I will be only concentrating questions that most of you are unable to answer. The majority of you were not able to answer correctly, but I also included the answers for the rest of the questions. So we'll start with this one. A is the midpoint of the line DB. Fine. So what actually is this one? The symbol here. So this is actually the magnitude of DB, which is square of x squared plus y squared. So you do need to find what is the column vector for DB first. A is the midpoint of the line DB. Oh, A is minus 4, 1. Okay. B is 1, 4. So we need to know where DB is. Looking at it, so if A is the midpoint, that means B and D. That means the column vector for A, B is the same as column vector of D to A, and from there you can find the column vector for DB. So looking at this one, A to B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 horizontal, 1, 2, 3, vertical is 3. So AB is 5, 5, 3. Careful not to make it into fraction, just what I did just now. So that means DB is twice of AB. That gives you 10, 6. And from there you can find the magnitude. So using a calculator, find the answer, 11.6619. Correct to 3 significant figures, 11.7. Okay, simple as that. Next question, the equation of line P is y equals to 4x minus 3. Line L is perpendicular to line P. Line L passes through the point 6,4. Find the coordinates of the point where line L crosses the x-axis. Quite a lot is given here. So we are given that P is y equals to 4x minus 3. Okay, and then L is perpendicular, L passes through. Find the coordinates of L crosses the x-axis. That means if you have your graph here, whatever L is crosses the x-axis is this one here. Okay, this point here. That also means that we already know one of the coordinates, which is the y. The y value is 0, so we just need to find what is the x there, and then from there we can find the coordinate. So this is line L. If we can get the equation of line L, we can substitute x equal to 0, and from there you can find x. But that also means that we need to find the value of M and C. So first, we need to find equation of L. We can find M by the fact that L is perpendicular to line P. That means for equation P, M is equals to 4, which is the coefficient of X. And if it's perpendicular, that means for equation L is a negative reciprocal. Okay. So next we want to find C. We can find C by substituting M and then substituting 6, 4, where 6 is your X value, 4 is your Y value. Putting that into the equation, simplify, add 6 for both sides, should get your C is equals to 11/2. So that means the equation now becomes y equals to minus 1/4x plus 11/2. Substitute. So here I'm gonna substitute y equals to 0, minus 4x plus 11/2 minus 11, no, it can multiply by 4. So 0 equals to minus x plus 22. And then you can add x both sides and you get x equals to 22. And then your y equals to 0. Put it into coordinate form, 22, 0. Next question. The diagram shows a small rectangle inside a large rectangle. The height of the triangle is x. Given the length of the large rectangle is 4 times its height, so that's not given. So I'm gonna put 4x here for the length. The width of the shaded border is 3 centimeter, and that is given. The area of the small triangle, so the area of the small triangle is 80 centimeters square. Form an equation in X and show that it simplifies to 2x squared minus 15x minus 22. What I'm gonna do is I am going to use the 80 centimeters square, the area. Area we know is length times breadth. So we just need to identify the height here. Okay. Okay, height times width, height times length. So this one, the whole thing is x minus 3 minus 3. So tolak sini, tolak sini. Okay. That is x minus 6. Similarly with the length here, so that is 4x minus 3 here, minus 3 here. So 4x minus 6. So that means x minus 6 times 4x minus 6 length times breadth is equals to given as 80. This is an expanded form of quadratic. So I'm going to expand. Again, you may use the method if you like. So I'll just show you and be consistent. Okay, so this one is 4x squared minus 6x minus 24x plus 36. Now be careful with the positive and negative integers there. So 4x squared, the like terms minus 24x and minus 6x gives you minus 30x plus 36 equals to 80. If you look here, the coefficient of x squared is 2. So that means what we can do is we divide it with 2. Hold on. Before we do that one, we need to make sure that the other side is equals to 0. So we need to further simplify this. Minus 80 both sides, which is equals to minus 44 equals to 0. And then we're going to divide it by 2. So 4x squared divided by 2, 2x squared, minus 30 divided by 2, minus 15x, and minus 44 divided by 2 would be minus 22 equal to 0, which is actually the same. So shown. You may use the larger triangle, but the larger triangle we only have the measurements of the sides, and that's it. So we can't go with it. So that is why I'm using the area of smaller triangle, because the area is given. So for this question, if you are unable to do part A, it's fine. You just skip to part B, because part B you should by now recognize that it is a quadratic equation which you can solve it either by factorization or by formula. However, here it has a clue here. When it says giving us correct to do decimal places, that means definitely this is a formula method. So you do need to memorize your formula. Minus b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Now be careful with this one. You do need to correctly identify what is the value of a, what is the value of b, what is the value of c. Now a is the coefficient of x squared. So in this case, a is equals to 2. B is the coefficient of x, so that means b is equal to minus 15. And c is the term it has no variable attached to it. So that means minus 22. Again, take note whether it's a positive or negative value. So when you substitute it, be careful again as well. Especially when b is a negative integer, you should write the negative for the formula and then the value of b. Putting it in bracket is a very good practice so that you don't mess up your multiplication there with negative integers. You can straight away do this calculation using a calculator. That's fine as well. I'm just showing here for those who likes to have their values written down. Okay, so again for quadratic you have 2. So either you take the addition or you take the subtraction, making sure that when you calculate this one, you should give your answer correct to 2 decimal places, just like the question is asking. Okay, so this one would be 2 decimal places and 2 decimal places. Okay, and then calculate the shaded area. Where is the shaded area? Remember, every time the question asking for shaded area, whatever the bigger shape is, you subtract it with the smaller shape. So we know the smaller shape is given just now. The smaller shape is the smaller triangle, which is 80 centimeters square. the bigger shape, we haven't found it. The area is x times 4x. So x times 4x, where is x? Here is the value of x. You can use that one. So we can't use the negative because you can't have a negative area. So that means the only choice is if your x is at 0.76. And then you subtract it with 80. And you're using your calculator. You should get this one and correct to 3 significant figures. Remember to make it a good practice. If your answer is not exact, you should give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. Just this one. And that's the end of part 3.